Hi, this is Mohammed Sadiq. In this session, we'll see some of the built-in functions in SQL Server. Okay, so generally when I talk about a function, what is a function? Function is a named block of code that accepts the input parameters and returns a single value. Okay, there are many built-in functions provided by the SQL Server. In this session, we'll see some of the built-in functions. And since we have many built-in functions, they are being broadly classified as text functions, the number functions, the conversion functions, date, and aggregate. So text functions are functions which works on text data, string data, number function, which works on numeric data. We have a conversion function, which is used to convert from one data type to another types. Then we do also have a date function, which exclusively works on the date values. And we have aggregate functions. The aggregate functions are nothing but a function which works on a group of values. Like, we have salary of the employees. I want to know what is the total salary, average salary, and so on. So whereas the text, numbers, and other function, which gives me a single value for every row. Okay. Now, when I talk about the text function, so let us see some of the text functions. So the text functions are nothing but the function which works on text data. So we have many functions here. So I can say we have some case manipulation functions as well as we have a character manipulation function. Case manipulation functions are nothing but the function which is used to manipulate the case. That is, you want to convert your data to the uppercase, so the lowercase and things. And we do also have a character manipulations is something like, you want to convert the data or extract the data, like, from the left or right or substring, or you want to do a concatenate. So we'll see that. Okay. So we'll look into this thing practically. So let me open my management studio and I'll just see. Fine. So first is we'll see how do we do this particular conversion functions. Now let me take this particular employees table, select star from employees table. Okay. So I just run this. So I'll just select the HR database. When you run this one, you can see here, we have this particular employee details here, employee ID, first name, last name, and so on. So now what I want is, I want to display this first name in capital letters, in caps, I want to display. So what I do here is, so I'll just rewrite this particular query, where I'll just say, I want to read the employee ID. And I'll read the actual first name. Okay. And I want to display this first name in capital letters. So I'll just say upper of the first name. Okay. And when I go to this one and when I run, you can see here, this will show this particular employee name in capital letters. So this is what is your upper function is doing. It is converting the data to the uppercase. Now you want to convert into lowercase. So I can use this particular function as lower of first name. So I'm trying to display the same thing in the lowercase. Just select this. So now you can see this is the actual name. So where we can see the first alphabet is in caps and remaining is in the small case. Now, irrespective of whatever the case with the data is there. So when I say upper, it converts the data to the uppercase. When I say lower, it gets converted to the lowercase. Okay. So you want to display this particular data in a standard case, like, either you want to display all in caps or lower or something. So that is where we use this particular text functions or a case manipulation function, which is this. Now, apart from this, we also have a functions to extract the part of the data. Okay, part of the data is like, again, when you see the employees table here, so we have employee ID and things. Now, see, we have a phone number. So I want the first 3 digits might be like, it's an area code. Okay, I want to extract the first 3 digits of the phone number. Okay, so let us see how do we extract this first 3 digits of the phone number. Okay, that is where exactly we'll use this particular left function, or you want to read the last 4 digit of the phone numbers. Okay, right functions, or you want the mid this one. So let us see how do we do this one. Okay, so To do this, so what I will do is, so I'll just take this particular employee ID, first name, and also the phone number. So I'm just taking this from the employees table. Yeah. So this is the data. This is my actual employee details with a phone number. But I say I want to get the, so what I say, STD code or the area code it is. Okay. So I'll just say this function called as left, because I want to see the leftmost 3 characters. From the left, okay. So first parameter, see, it takes 2 parameters here. So one is the actual expression, that is the text data that you need to pass it. And the second parameter is the number of characters in that. Okay. So my actual expression is I want to read the phone number. Okay. So I want to extract from the phone number. And what is that you want to extract? Comma. So I put a comma and then I say I want to read the 3 characters from there. So you can see this will show me as the first 3 characters of the phone number. Okay, so you can see here, so it is showing the first 3 characters of this particular phone number. So that means it has extracted the data from the leftmost of the phone number. And how many characters? 3 characters. This is what is a left function is. So when you have some product codes or things which they have followed some kind of a nomenclature, but with the first 2 alphabet is representing type of category of products. Okay, so you want to extract only the category code. So we use this particular what I say, extracting function. I can say text extracting function. Okay, so now the same way I want to read the last 4 digit of the phone number. So in that case, what I do, so since the last 4 digit is the digits which is on the rightmost. Okay, so I will use this particular function here called as right of what, the phone number. And from there, what is that you want to extract? I want to extract 4 characters from there. Okay, so this will just get me the rightmost 4 characters. So we can see here, so it has just got this particular rightmost 4 characters from this particular phone number. Okay, from the right hand side, it has extracted 4 characters. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is how we can extract the data from the left or the right. Oh, you want to extract from the mid, say example 1, 2, 3. What is this one? I want to extract. So now in this case, what it is, it should not take the first 3 fourth characters. That means F515 dot, first 4 character it has to skip. From the 5th character, it has to read next 3 character. That means it has to start reading from the 5th position and it has to read 3 characters from there. So for this, what I do is we use this function called as substring. Sub is small and string is like, extracting the part of the string. So from this, I'll just say is from the where you want to see, this takes 3 parameters. One is the actual expression. The second parameter is start position. So I want to start from the 5th position. And the third parameter is the number of characters from there. So I want to read 3 characters. See, even though this is a phone number, but the data type here is a character because it has a dot there. Okay, and there is a pattern there. Okay, so on that basis, it is taking as a string type. A data type given is a string. Okay, so you can see you are getting that mid 3 characters. So that means from the phone number, we have extracted reading from the 5th position. Okay, next 3 characters. Okay, so 5th, 6th, and 7th character has been read. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. That is what has been read respectively. Okay, this is how we extract the part of the text. Now you want to concat, like you want to concat this code and this number together, or we do also have this employees table. We have a first name and last name, okay, as a 2 separate fields. So we have a first name and last name as 2 separate fields. I want to combine this and show as one single output. Okay, let us see how do we do that. So I say first name and last name. This are 2 different fields. What is there? But I want to display as one single field. Okay, I want to combine this. So I can use this thing called as concat. So I can just put before this one. I can use this function called as concat, and you can just pass the expression. So I want to pass. You can see it can take a number of expressions and returns one output. So what is that? All the expressions will be concatenated. It means it will be joined. So first name and last name should be the expressions here. So I want to join this. So you can see here first name and last name. Now what happens here is we have a first name and last name as running as one word. I want to have a space in between. If I want to have a space in between, that is actually there is no other field called as a space. I want to add a literal character. That means a constant I want to add. I'll just put a comma, open a single quote, space, and a close. Okay, again a comma. So that means it is going to concatenate three things here. First name, that will be concatenated with the space, and that further will be concatenated with the last name. So when you see run this one, you can see Stephen space King, Nina space Kocher. Okay, the first name and last name, in between it has added the space. Okay, so that means, like, it is concatenated three expressions here. The first name is one of the column, space is a literal value, okay, constant value, and last name is another expression. Each expression, each parameter is separated with a comma. Okay, this is how we use this. Fine. These are some of the text functions. There are many text functions. Okay, I think. Now, we'll see next as number functions, or also we call this as a mathematical functions. So as the name only says, number functions means these are the function which works on the number data type, numeric data types. Okay, and used to perform some kind of algebraic calculations, or like numeric calculations, like you want to do a round up, down. Okay, those particular things we can do it. Okay, so there are many functions. We have absolute, which gives me absolute of a number. We have a ceiling, it is always rounds to the higher integer value. Float, which rounds to the lower value. We have a power, okay, raised to the power. We have a round, the closest round. Sign, okay, when the number is there, if it is a positive number, it says 1. If it is negative number, it says 0, -1. And if it is 0, it returns 0. So it is to check whether the number is positive or a negative. We use a sign operator. So that is mainly used in the profit. The profit can also be a negative value. If it is negative, I want to say it's -1. So I just want, and based on that, you can use it further. You can use the if condition and say, okay, there's a loss and there's a profit. So you want to segregate. That is where we use this. Okay, let us see the example here. Now, say absolute means what? Select absolute, okay, of anything. So it just absolute is what? If there is a decimal, okay, it just, okay, absolute is when you have some number, it returns a positive of that number, irrespective whether it's a positive or a negative. So right now, this is a positive number, so it's fine. If I say -45, still this will return as 45 only. You can see still returns as 45. So that means what is absolute means it always returns absolute of a number. If a number is negative, still it returns a positive. So mainly used in arithmetic operations, where if a number is negative, still I want to consider as a positive and I want to take it further. Once some special statistical calculations, we use this. Then we have a round function. So what is a round function? A round function is something which rounds to the closest value. Say example, I say we have a select. Okay, I'll use this round, and I'll just say this as a round of 45.345. Okay, and I want this to be rounded to number of digits. We say, so you can see it is taking two parameters here. One is the actual number, comma, number of digits you want to round up. So I want these numbers to be rounded to 0-digit decimal. Okay, means this will be rounded as 45, and then looks for a decimal value. Decimal value is 0.3 starting. That is like, 0.3 is less than half of it. So this round will do a closest round. So on that basis, this should again show as 45. Yes, 45. Now, what it does is, if this value is 5, the decimal value is 5. So that means more than half. So this will become as 46. Okay, so this is going to do a closest round. That means if you're rounding up to 0-digit decimal, so it says the first digit. Okay, if it is 0 to 4, it rounds to the previous integer. 5 to 9, it rounds to the next integer. Okay, that is how the rounding happens. So it is 0.5, it is showing as 46. It was 0.4, so then it is less than half, so it will show as 45 only. Okay, now I want, sometimes, when you say 10 divided by 3, you get 3.333. I want to round up to 2 digits or 3 digits, some standard digits you want to fix it. So I can just say round up to number of digits you wanted. So I'll just take this number. Okay, 45.445. I want to round up this to 2 digits. So in this case, what happens? This will become as 2-digit rounding, 45.44. And what is the third digit here? Third digit is more than 5. Okay, 5 and above, more than half. So this will become as 45. 45.45. Now, if I say 45.43, this will still be as 45.44 only. Okay. So again, when I say 2 digits of decimal, it looks what is the third digit here, whether it is 0 to 4 or 5 to 9. Okay. 5 to 9, it'll round to the next higher value. 0 to 4, it'll round to the previous values. Okay. So this is how exactly a round function works. So let us see practically with some data. I'll just use the Northwind database where I have a products table. Okay. I just say select star from products table. Okay. Now, when you look into this one, I just have the unit price has some decimal values here, 9.2, 65.5. I want to do a round on this one. Okay. So let us see how do we do that. So I'll just take the product name. Just to have that name also as a part of the field, and I'll just take the unit price. Okay, units in stock is always but I say integer value. This has a decimal. Fine. Now, okay, I will use a round function for this. So let me show the actual unit price, and I'll show the rounded unit price. Round of, see, instead of passing a static value, I can just specify the column. Okay, a round of unit price. Comma, how many digits you want to round this? So I want to round this to 0-digit decimal. So this will get rounded up to 0-digit decimal. So you can see here 21.35, it is 21 only. And you can see 23.25, it is 23. Okay. And 62.5, it is becoming 63 because 0.5 is more than half. Okay. It is 63. But when it comes to 74.45, okay, it is 0.45. It is 17 only. It is not doing a round up. But 15.5, it is rounding to the higher value. So you can see if there is anything 0.5 and above, it always rounds to the higher value. Okay. 43.9 is 44. Okay. So it goes on something in this way. Okay. This is how exactly the round function works. Okay. The next thing is, we have this particular round. Now we also have something called as a seal and floor. Seal is what rounds to the higher value. Floor is like, rounding to the lower value. Okay. Ceiling of a house and the floor. Floor is a ground. So like in Excel, we used to have a round up and round down. So here also we have this round to the higher value or the round to the lower value. Now, when I talk about a ceiling, so you can see here what happens. Select seal. Okay. Ceiling of, I'll just take the same thing. 45 point, I'll say 0001. Now what will happen, 45.001, you can see I've given a very, very small fractional decimal, but still when I say ceiling, it always rounds to the higher integer value. If there is a decimal, it is understood that there is some value, so it always rounds to the next higher value. So another thing is, we don't specify the number of digits here. It always rounds to the integer value. Even if it is a small fractional decimal, it will round to the next higher value. Ceiling is rounds up. Okay, it rounds to the higher value. Okay, and the same way we also have a floor. So what is floor? As the name says, floor is down. So this is used like, if I just say 45.99999. Okay, so this, see, it is almost 46, but when I say floor, it says no, this is considered as 45 only. So that means floor means always rounds to the lower integer, not to the higher integer. Seal is always rounds to the higher integer. So that is how it is, the difference. Okay, so that is what. So let us see it in this. When it comes to the unit price, let us say ceiling of the unit price. Seal of unit price. And I'll also give a floor of unit price. Okay. So when I run this one, so we can see here, the thing is, so this is the actual unit price and this is the rounded value. So rounded value always rounds to the closest integer. Means like example of 15.5 is rounded to 16. 17.45 is rounded to 17. Okay, so it is 0.5 and above, it rounds to the higher value. And if it is below 0.5, that is 0.45, it is rounding to the lower value. That is what is your round is doing. Next is ceiling. Ceiling is what? It is rounding to the higher value. So you can see here 21.35, it has become 23. Okay, 17.45, it has become as 18. Okay, even if it is a small fraction, it'll round to the higher value. Now, when you talk about this particular, what you say, floor. So when I talk about a floor, you can see here, in the case of floor, what happens? Always rounds to the lower value. 15.5, it is still as 15. Okay, so even if the decimal is 0.9, it will show to the lower value only. See, always you can see the floor is always rounded to the lower integer. Seal is always rounded to the higher integer, irrespective of the decimal values. Okay, so that is the major difference between the ceiling and the floor. Sometimes you want to always round to the next higher values, mainly used in the financial outflow and inflows. So when the money is flowing out, okay, we want to say do a floor and then give the money. Okay, when the money is flowing in, the cash inflow and cash outflow, when it's money is flowing in cash inflow, we want to take the higher value, so seal and then receive the values, so we can use it accordingly. Okay, thanks. So this is something about your round and the seal functions. Okay, so like that, we have many functions like, square root is a mathematical function. Okay, select say sqrt of say 8. So this should tell me the square root of 8 is how much? 2.8 something. Fine. And we have a power. You can use all the mathematical functions and all these things also. 5 to the power of 2. Okay, it is going to be 5 into 5, 25. Yes, if I say 5, 3, that is 5 cube. 5 into 5 into 5 is 525. 125 into 5 into 5 is 25. Into 5 is 125. Cool. So you want to get something like this. So we get this particular mathematical functions. Cool. Yeah. Next is, we do also have what you call it as a conversion functions. See, when I say conversion, as the name says, okay, it is used to convert from one data type to another type. So we use conversion function is used to transform the value from one data type to another type. The syntax for using this particular conversion function is, the name of the function is convert. So first we specify the data type to which it has to be converted and the actual expression that has to be done the conversion. Okay, and optionally I can give a style. Style is mainly used when you're working with the date times. Okay, date time values, we have a style. So we'll see with some examples here. Okay, when exactly we can use this convert. Okay, so let us practically see about the convert functions. Now let us take an example. I have select star from products table itself. I just take this. Yeah, so when you see in the products table, we have what is a unit price. Now what I want is unit price, when it is, say it is a number value, so it is stored as number. But while displaying, I want this to be prefixed with RS, rupees 18, rupees 19, or dollar, or euro, or whatever, some symbol. So I'm from India, I have an Indian keyboard, so I want to prefix it as rupee, Indian say currency symbol. So I'll just say I want to prefix as rupees 18, rupees 19. I want to have something in this way. Okay, so if I have to prefix this, what does that we do? Okay, so let me take the product name first and the actual unit price. So this is the actual unit price, so which is displaying something like this, but I want to display this with a prefix of RS. So if I have to prefix RS, RS is that is, what is a character, and I'll just say plus. Okay, I want to have RS plus the unit price. Now if I try to run this one, you can see I will get an error. The reason for the error is the unit price is a, what is a number data type, and this is a character. Now character and number, when you use a plus sign, it is trying to do an addition, which it cannot do it. So that is the reason you are getting an error. So now what I want is, I want to concatenate. If I have to concatenate, what I want is, I want this unit price also to be converted to a character type. I want this unit price to be taken as character. So what I will do here is, I use the convert function. And the first parameter of the convert is, what is the target type you want to convert? I want to convert the unit price to a varchar. We know that varchar is a data type in the SQL, which is used to, which is representing for the characters. Now what happens, the unit price is a numeric or money or whatever the data type it is, but we are getting converted this to a varchar type. So now since this is a varchar, now the unit price is a varchar, when you use a plus with rs, it is going to do a concatenation. Okay, and you can see we got the result here. Yes, rupees 18, rupees 19, and so on. So this is where exactly we use the convert functions. Sometimes, at the time of displaying the data, so you want to temporarily change the data type. See, it is not, you're not changing on your actual table. It is select is only the view, is it? It is only displaying. So, but at the displaying, you want to have a formatted outputs. Okay, so you can convert it and then we can go ahead with the further formattings. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from that, according to the slide, it says like, style. And I said like, style is used mainly with your data types. Let us see one example of your style. Okay, let us see one example of the style. So now, if you have to see the current date, so what is that we do in SQL? We say select get date. Get date is a function which will get me the current date. Okay, and you can see this is displaying the date, but you can see the style of displaying the date is different. Okay, how it is? First is the year, 2023 is the year, 07 is the month, and 22 is the day of the month. Okay, then it has a time. Okay, now it is 5 p.m. Okay, it is 17/12/42. Okay, this is the time has been given. This is how the default display is there. So year, month, day, then hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. Fine, I want to display the date, but I don't want to display in this format. I want to display in, see, every country has their own local format, no? DDMMYY, MMDDYY format. And then some countries they use a slash, some countries they use a hyphen, some countries they use a dot between the day, month, year. Or some people like say, no, I want to have a, what I say, medium date, long date. Okay, so for that, so what we do is we'll use the convert function. Okay, select, okay, I'll just say convert. Okay, so now I want to convert this particular value to a varchar. So I want to display in the character. And what is that you want to display? Get date. Okay, get date is a function which gives me the current date. And if I'm not giving anything, so you can see the default display format is something like medium date, July 22, 2023. That is my today's date, 5:13 p.m. Hey, no, I don't want in this one. I want to have it in a different styles. So now what we do is the last parameter is there. That is the first parameter is to what data type you're converting. Second parameter is the what is the actual expression. The third parameter is the style. So we have a different style from 100 to 101. So default is 100. So that is going to be the same style. If I'm not passing any style, it is the same default. But if I say 101, okay, so you can see the style changes. So it is 7/22, this one, that is month, day, and year. It is month, day, and year. Okay, so we have almost around 15 different formats. So if I say 102, okay, you can see it is in this particular format. Okay, the year dot month dot day of the month. Okay, so if I just say 103 is our Indian style here. When I run this one, yeah, in India we represent the date like this. First is the month, then first is the day, month, and this one, that is 22nd of July 2023. Okay, so you want to have your own styles, we can go for it. So this, we have a style up to 14, that is from 100 to 114, that is 15 different styles. We can see, I think this is German people follow this, dot in between as a separator. Okay, I think so. That means you can localize to any country's local style, or you can have, there are a lot of predefined styles are there. So you can see with the hyphen they are showing with this 105. So 106 is showing with medium date, 22nd, abbreviated month, and then the year. So when I say 107, this will show me like what is say, yeah, it is with the comma separator thing. And 108, so there are different styles. You can just localize to any. This one 108 is showing the time here. Okay, 109 is showing, this is a built-in, like, some standard styles are there. So it is showing the date as well as the time. Okay, thanks. So 110 will show me this, and 111, it shows me in this particular format, and say 12. So it shows me in this particular format. Say 13 is showing in this particular format. Okay, so things complete long date at hours, minutes, seconds, and the milliseconds. Okay, 114 will show me this is different styles what is available here. Okay, so we have 100 to 114, that is we have 15 styles. So if I say 115, it doesn't have a style. So these are predefined style numbers what is being provided. Each style has a specific this one, so we can use any of this. So you can localize to any particular country's culture, okay, the way you want to display the date or time and so on. Okay, yeah, fine. This is about some of the basic SQL functions. In the upcoming sessions, I will discuss about the date functions and also the aggregate functions. Okay, thank you for this.